Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Jennifer, and we are a middle aged couple with a Regal Unlimited subscription and a deep fondness for movie theater popcorn.
And this time we're back in our living room after our
Yes,
ill-fated attempt to record a
yes,
video in the field.
that's true. Yes, walking and filming is not our skill set.
So
We're too old for that.
we make a video for every film we see together in 2026. And tonight we went and saw
Supergirl.
which we were both excited to see, right?
I wasn't expecting a whole lot.
Okay, well, what did you discover?
I didn't get a whole lot.
Yeah, sadly, it's not a great film. It's fine. It's average. It's mediocre. I don't know.
I mean, it's a movie.
Subpar.
It hits the notes of movies, I suppose, and tries to subvert a little bit the superhero movie kind of thing, but like in a way that's already been done.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like it has much to offer, which is unfortunate.
We both enjoyed the recent Superman movie, right?
I was underwhelmed by that. You really quite liked it, and I was like, eh. It was a movie. Like,
okay.
it did Superman stuff. Like,
did you like it more than you liked this one?
Barely. Yeah, I
Okay.
don't see any compelling reason for these movies to exist. Like, they're not different enough from previous Superman movies. And even if you're going to hit the same beats as Superman, I mean, I haven't seen, I might have seen the Helen Slater Supergirl movie, but I don't remember it. Like, I don't have any real connection to Supergirl as a character. I don't know any of the stories, like, whatever. But you're going to put me in this Superman, Krypton, like, super skills universe. I feel like there has to be a compelling reason. There needs to be a story beyond, hey, look at me, I'm Superman. Hey, look at me, I'm Supergirl. And this new iteration of these movies has not figured that out for me.
Okay. All right. So I was excited for this movie. I had pretty high hopes for it for two reasons. One is this was going to be James Gunn doing space adventure again, that it was going to be harkening back to Guardians of the Galaxy, which is a franchise I hold very dear to my heart. I love space stories to begin with, and I think that the Guardians of the Galaxy were so much fun, and they were so funny, and just all three movies. I have to admit, like, the third one, I wasn't crazy about it at first. It grew on me. There are some weird bits in it. It gets oddly dark towards the end, but
the character who plays the bad guy in the third one, like, the guy who plays the bad guy in the third one is amazing. Like, just literally, here is the screen. I am going to put it on the grill. I'm gonna cook it up, and then I am going to literally cut it into little pieces and eat the entire screen.
Yeah, fair
like, it was amazing.
Yes.
For no reason. The movie did not deserve it. The movie did not deserve this man, whose name I do not remember.
Right.
But he was amazing.
So it's James Gunn doing space adventure, and he does these colorful, beautiful space adventures. The other reason I was excited for this, for Supergirl, was it's based on this, a graphic novel, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, that I thoroughly enjoyed. I think it's one of my favorite graphic novels I've read this year. It's very colorful, and the art is exquisite and beautiful, and the story has depths to it and is really interesting. So then we saw this movie.
Has none of those things.
It has none of those things. So it's a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. It absolutely is, except without the humor, and everything is brown and yellow.
The only humor is that Supergirl is drunk. Like, that's the humor.
Which is the first 20 minutes of the movie.
And that's kind of funny, like, for the first, 30 seconds. And then it's like, yeah, she managed to find a planet where she can get shit-faced. Go you, like...
So they even had, for some reason, had to throw in Lobo, played by Jason Momoa, who, well, Jason Momoa picks up a paycheck for this role. That's about what they accomplished there. It is the most boring, unfunny version of Lobo I've ever seen. I'm not even a big Lobo fan, but he can be funny in the right circumstances. Not here. So, and then when it comes to the graphic novel, I mean, they were going to have to simplify it. It's a complex story, and they were going to have to simplify it for the screen. They didn't have to dumb it down this much. It is absolutely any kind of thought or depth or emotional impact or stakes from the graphic novel totally cut out of the movie. It is just a simple revenge story. And then, yeah, and was it unsatisfying ending?
Yep.
It's
yeah. It doesn't. It assumes both that no one knows who Supergirl is and what her capacities are, and somehow people know what her capacities are, and so therefore, and what her weaknesses are, and therefore can like try and fight them. And somehow those two things happen at the same time, and there's no discussion of the fact that that's what's going on.
Nobody in this universe has ever heard of Supergirl or Kara L, and yet they all know exactly what the weaknesses of a Kryptonian are. Apparently, like, I guess the idea is supposed to be that Superman has been out having adventures, so everybody now knows that kryptonite hurts him. And
I think you have decided that that's what would make sense, so you believe that that's what's happened.
They don't explain this in the movie.
There's nothing in the movie that gives you an intimation of that.
Yeah,
there's nothing in the movie that explains why anyone would know that there's all these zillions of planets that are inhabited by all these different kinds of people and creatures and stuff. Like you see all these different types of aliens and stuff, like the makeup and like mask making and stuff for this movie is like great, right? Like somebody had real fun creating all these different characters and stuff. And I mean, they're not characters, they're like, faces and set pieces and stuff. But, so you get this sense that the universe is huge and there are all these different species in it and there's all this shit going on. I don't know why in this universe we're supposed to, I think, already know this. And, it just is. It's not explained. Excuse me, Superman is in this a little bit. Some of it is in her memories, but some of it is like the two of them conversing and interacting, sometimes from a distance and sometimes up close. And he clearly knows that she's out like exploring the universe, but like, why would he know, as far as we know, why would he know that there are any other species in the universe besides him and the people of Krypton and the people of Earth, right? Like, there's no intimation that there's a universe full of zillions of different planets in that first movie.
In the Superman movie, I think they do talk about aliens quite a bit.
They do? See, I don't remember it because that movie was just like nothing.
And they've got those like black hole portals in that movie. And,
okay.
They know about other planets.
Okay, so I was wrong. That's fine. I've forgotten it because that movie is just utterly forgettable. I have no idea what the plot of the Superman movie was, and in 10 minutes, I am not going to remember what the ostensible plot of this movie is.
Well, what this tells you is that, as somebody who really liked the Superman movie and actually paid attention to it, like, I should have liked this a lot more than I did, and I just didn't find anything here. The main actress,
Millie
Iykyk, is fine. She does a good job of being a superhero. Not a lot of it is asked of her in this movie. She's drunk for the first 20 minutes of it, and then she's just go superhero for the rest of it. Eve Ridley, who plays Ruthye, who is a fascinating character in the graphic novel, really with a lot of depth and dimension to her, is just a helpless little girl here. And they make a vague effort at like giving her one scene where she kind of fights back, but for the most part, she's just a toddler, like who Supergirl was responsible for. Like I said, Lobo did not need to be in this movie.
Nope.
Adds nothing to it.
Nope.
The villain, Krem of the Yellow Hills, who, has changed in many ways from the character from the graphic novel, is just gross. He's just a gross dude with a lot of facial piercings.
There is a real element here of Mad Max.
Yeah.
is what it is. And there's stuff that's ripped from Mad Max Fury Road, and then there's visual style ripped from the Mad Max universe. And Krem looks like a Mad Max character.
Yeah. Taking a little, to a little absurd degree.
To an absurd degree that, again, visually looks really interesting. I can see the person who, like, came up with this look that's like, oh my God, this looks really cool. And this looks really frightening. And it, it does. But, like, there's no compelling reason why this guy looks this particular way. Except to kind of fit into maybe the, like, visual style also that they use for Lobo, right? To give you this sense of, and does Lobo look like the character in the comics?
Oh, God, this version looks so bad.
Okay. He doesn't look
it's a terrible character design of Lobo.
Okay.
Lobo he's much more interesting in the comics looking, but even then, I mean, like...
But the visual style isn't
like
biker style.
No, his style is biker style.
Okay, and so I feel like what they did with Krem and with the Brigands is to make them also kind of biker style, but a different biker style, but like biker style. And that's the only way you can be like an outlaw in this universe is if you look like a biker.
It's all piercings and chains and black leather.
Yeah. And very, very Mad Maxy. Yeah.
And that's it. That's like the entire aesthetic of this movie. There is this scene that we liked on the space bus.
Yes.
Which is taken from the graphic novel. And then there's the one memorable alien character design in the entire film for me was the little dude on the bus. So the bus has two drivers and one of them is 6 inches tall, and he's a great character.
Yeah.
But that's it. And the rest of the movie is just this gray, brown, yellow desert stuff. And action scenes that make no sense whatsoever. People just lining up to get punched by Supergirl, or like standing around in a circle going, "Hey, Supergirl, we're gonna kill you," and she goes, "No, you're not," and then she just punches them all. Yeah.
But that's my problem with Superman as well.
It's tough. I don't blame the writers for having trouble finding ways to make this interesting. Superman and Supergirl are characters, I think, that do not work well in action movies. They are much more interesting as archetypes or as, like, mythological figures. I think lots of comic book writers have done really interesting stuff with that. The Superman books recently have just been amazing, just telling Superman stories about what it would be like if God was your best friend, and what it would be like if God was your boyfriend, and stuff like that. When it's an action sequence and that nobody there can hurt her, Supergirl punching people just isn't that interesting, because she's going to win every single time, and we know she will. And they even go out of their way in this movie to find different ways to take away her powers and to make her weak and whatever else. And every single time they chicken out, and they don't actually let her be weak or have no powers. She just gets them back right in the nick of time, and then she just kicks everybody's butts.
Yep.
And it just feels so weightless. Like, there is no stakes.
Yep.
Like, there is no point in this movie when anybody's really in danger. Ruthye is constantly being put in these scenes of peril, but you know that Supergirl is just gonna pick her up and carry her away. It's pointless. It's really disappointing. I did have high hopes for this movie. I think that there are parts of it that could have been turned into a decent movie with better writing and better directing. It's harsh to say that, but it's just, I feel like everybody involved just kind of gave it 50%. And if they'd given it 75%, it would have been a good movie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess I feel like the compelling reason for this movie to exist is James Gunn is remaking this cinematic universe, right? Like, that's the compelling reason, and that's not a compelling reason to tell stories.
Yeah, he wanted to make another Guardians of the Galaxy movie, but he didn't have the budget or the actors or whatever he needed, or the purple face paint.
Well, I mean, no, like this is a whole other thing, right? Like he's now in charge of like the DC movie thing, right? So like he got that. So now I have that. So what do you do if you're going to do like a bunch of DC movies? Like you go to Superman, right? So you redo Superman, you get rid of the previous guy who redid Superman. Like, yes, I'm not 18, so like it feels like 10 minutes ago when Man of Steel came out, right? Like I realized, is that movie 15 years old?
Probably.
Right? But I don't know. I guess I don't feel like we need to literally remake every superhero movie every 15 years.
Right.
Like that just seems dumb to me. When I'm not a comic book reader, but if all the Marvel movies have told me anything, there are 70 billion stories that the same characters are part of. And there are 5 bajillion characters. And so, like, why do we need to restart Superman, right? Like, we could just go in a different direction, recast Superman, right? Like, fine, you want to put your stamp on it, you want your guy to be Superman, and, like, tell a story in that universe, right? And then, I have a real tension with the comic book stuff, that it's hard for me to grasp that there are so many different stories of a character like Superman or Spider-Man that do not connect, that are like just wildly different, right? So I have a hard time grasping that. And I kind of don't like that. Like, I want them all to be connected. I want them to be chapters of one story. And I realize that part of what people actually like about comics is that it doesn't work that way. Maybe some people do, maybe some people don't. I don't know. But so I struggle with, like, yeah, we're going to like just remake these movies every 15 years and nothing connects, right? Like, so while Supergirl connects to that Superman movie because Supergirl is introduced at the end of it, like, that's literally the only thing, right? Like, and I realize now that's intentional, right? Like Marvel was doing those interconnected stories, which meant that everything had to be like tightly connected, and it gives you like less freedom to have different movie makers make different things if all the stories have to connect. So I get that, right? Like you have this big playground. You could make a Lobo movie. You could make a movie based on some other character that I don't know exists, right? You could find a way to resurrect Wonder Woman again, and make it better. Anything that allows you to pretend that Wonder Woman 1984 didn't happen, I support, right? But I'm just like, if the only compelling reason for this movie to exist is Supergirl exists and let's make a Supergirl movie, you've got to give me something else. Like the story has to be compelling in some way. This is John Wick. Like this is, I need to like get vengeance or save my dog. And then there's another vengeance story on top of that. But like, I've seen that, right? But of course, every movie you've seen, like nothing's new, but like something about it has to feel new. And it really felt like I took some of this from Mad Max, and I took some of this from Guardians of the Galaxy, and I took some of this from Superman, and I took some of this from this particular Supergirl comic, graphic novel, and I took a little bit of this, I put it in a little blender. Here you go, right? Like you're excited for this, and I'm like, no, I'm not.
Yeah,
I need a little bit, and I don't know how to articulate what I need. Right? It's like I just know it when I see it, right? Like, oh my God, that's amazing. I've never seen anything like that, or I never thought about it that way, right? Like, I don't know. I mean, Fury Road is somehow like the best fucking movie of the 21st century for me, where it is in an existing universe. It pretends half the shit in an existing universe doesn't exist. And has no compelling reason to exist,
Yeah.
and yet is interesting in and of itself on its face.
Right.
And
How much that is Charlize Theron.
that's not a not insignificant
Yeah.
part of it, but that's not the only thing. I have seen movies of hers that I'm like, psh, that Old Guard thing. I saw the Old Guard and I saw the Old Guard 2. Why? There's no compelling reason for those movies to exist. They're
Okay.
not good, right? So yeah, this just didn't do it for me. Like, it's got too much stuff floating around, literally floating around,
Yeah.
right? Like, just, yeah. Just
And
it
there's
didn't hit.
even if
Didn't
there
hit.
was just a sense of awe, if there was a sense of wonder in this movie, but there really isn't, because we've already seen Superman do all these stunts and tricks, and they're just not. They don't look as good in this movie. I think this movie has a much lower budget, and there just wasn't a lot of real love put into it. So yeah, we don't recommend Supergirl. It's such a strange move to go straight from Superman to Supergirl.
You know, the thing I wanted to like about it is that you went straight from Superman to Supergirl, because, like, girls, women, like, make movies where women are, like, the main characters and the main actors, right?
Yeah.
Like, why the fuck not? Like, I want to like this.
Yeah.
And I just, you know,
And it's a story of two women, like, trying to
a woman and
understand
a
each other.
teenage girl, yeah.
Trying to understand each other and trying to come to terms with each other, and it that should be interesting in itself, and it is interesting in the graphic novel.
Yeah, I feel like that is not what the movie is,
Yeah.
right? The movie should be that, and that is one part of what's going on. But there's a whole bunch of other stuff going on as well that's kind of nonsense. So, yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Alas.
Well, I don't think we need to belabor this. We've talked for 22 minutes about why we didn't like this movie. And
Sorry.
I really wish I could say that there was something in it that I really found worthy, other than the bus driver.
It was shot in Iceland partially.
Yeah, but the boring part of Iceland. Just the big empty desert parts of Iceland.
Yeah. Still looks cool.
Okay. So, yeah, I think you can skip this one. It's not going to have anything to do with continuity for the Superman universe. It's a completely separate standalone story, so you won't miss anything. There are no post-credit sequences linking this to other movies. Yeah, it's fascinating. It just came
Not
out of
even
nowhere,
like
and
not even in jokes from the movie, like, you know, the Stop That Train had outtakes, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
yeah.
that you know, yeah. I
Okay.
like Stop That Train better than I like this movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Much better. Okay. Until next time, folks.
Bye.